Ow! What is shaking? It's your boy, Mark Cordone. Don't you laugh during my intro, Vernal. Vernal, don't you laugh. Episode 95, the Golden Mike Live. Vernal, do you know why I have 95 episodes of this show?
Because you haven't done 96 yet?
Because I haven't done 96. And also, you cannot cancel me. I will do 95, 96, 97, 100, 197 until I cancel myself. You cannot cancel me. So, like, my name is Mark Cordone, founder of the Make Money Coaching Program, also the Chief Disruptive Officer of the Joy Revolution. I cannot wait to talk about this today because we are going to talk about moving past living the sucky life and moving into a joyful one with our girl, Mary Vernal, not Mary Vernal. She will correct you. She will correct you, not Mary Vernal. Mary Vernal, now I'm calling you Mary Vernal because I said it like 5 times. Mary Vernal, life coach. Mary Vernal, speaker. Mary Vernal, more importantly, mother of 2. She brought multiple human beings into this world. Congratulations, Mary. I know one just turned 19 and was away from the house, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, I do my research. We got a crack research team here over at the Golden Mike Live. So this is the thing. Before we even go into your story, Mary, my name is Mark Cordone. If we're meeting for the first time, and more than the Joy Revolution, more than the Make Money Coaching Program, I'm a positive psychology coach, which means this more than the empirical data, more than all this talky talk of positive psychology and stuff like that. I just ask 2 questions of people every single day, and I love them. I'm never going to stop getting tired of asking these 2 questions. Number 1, if you were to scale your life right now, or to scale how you're living, 1, are you living your life in happiness right now? Between 1 and 10, how happy are you? And then number 2, are you living your life in full purpose? Between 1 and 10, how much do you feel like you're falling into your purpose? So Mary Vernal, let's kick it off with this. It's a double-edged question. It's a double-barreled question. How much are you living your life with full happiness, and how much are you living your life with full purpose?
It's a double 8, baby.
Oh, it's a double 8? What does that even mean? What's a double 8, baby, mean?
First and an 8 for the second.
Right on, right on. So talk about the double 8. Why is it not a double 10? Why is it not a double 1?
You know, because life is a process, and, you know, I'm working on some stuff to just blow it to a 10, and I'm not quite there yet. And that's
right on. I love your honesty, Home Slice. Love your honesty. Dude, for those of you who are watching, like Debbie Slazer, morning people, I'm new to you, Mark, but I like what I see so far. Nice. I love you, Mary Vernal. So glad you guys connected. Debbie, I'm happy to connect with you too. Mary is happy to connect with you too. So this is the thing, Debbie, and everybody watching on the replay, for those of you who are feeling like Debbie, for those of you who are feeling like Mary, you're feeling like you're living life pretty amazing when it comes to happiness. You feel like you've got your purpose on lock and you can continue to grow. Mary, give us some hearts, because I don't hear any leaf blowing right now. Give us some hearts, people. Debbie, hit that button again. Hit that button again, Debbie. Hit that button again if you guys are watching the replay. Let us know that you're alive. It's all right to be living life and having fun with it, right? So this is the other thing. A lot of people think that joy, a lot of people think that not living the sucky life, a lot of people think that positive psychology is only about 24/7 shits and giggles. They think it's about Taco Tuesday every single day. Yeah, that's right. Mary, cut it off. Cut me off right now. Cut me off of my own show.
Effing way, pal.
Cut me off of my own show. It is not. It's not about just happiness 24/7. I love that one of our positive psychologists over here, Tal Ben Shahar, goes and says, if you're only feeling happiness 24/7, you're one of 2 things. Number 1, you're a psychopath. I've determined Mary is not. I don't know about Debbie yet, but I'm going to determine that Mary is not. Or number 2, you're dead. Life is about feeling those ups and downs and all arounds of life, y'all. Yeah. And like, if you're not, if you never go into that funk, you never know how sweet the sweet tastes. It's partly about the bitter as well. And that's how you increase your joy capacity, folks. Is by embracing all of that. That's the secret. So if like right now you're waking up and you're like, you know what, like these leaf blowers are just too loud today, or the elections didn't go the way that I thought. I was happy before, and I'm not. That's all right. That's part of the journey. It's okay to feel that. Or if you're thinking to yourself, dude, I found my passion and I was living in it, and now all of a sudden I don't have it. Or 30 years later, I'm out of passion in my relationship, or I'm out of passion with my job. That is part of the journey too. Your heart beats like Mary Vernal's and Mark Cordone's. So I want you to do this. Mary and I want you to do this. We want you to give us a thumbs up if you're just living life and you're getting by right now. That's part of your hero's journey. Is it feeling good, Mary?
Yeah.
So give us a thumbs up. Now, here's the final thing. Mary already implied this. If you feel like you're not totally there yet, this is the secret. If you know that whether you're a 1 or whether you're a 10, you know that tomorrow is going to... Yay, Debbie's not a psychopath. If you know
I can vouch for that.
Yay! If you know that tomorrow is going to be even better than today, this is this hint of something called optimism, y'all. Optimism is linked with even greater success and outcomes in whatever it is that you want. So if you're feeling optimistic about tomorrow, whether you're at a 1 or whether you're at an 8 or double 8s or 10s or 11s, that's a good thing. There's another button down there that Mary Vernal's going to show you right now. And that button is the wow face. Mary Vernal, show us what that wow face looks like. I love it. So without any further ado, Mary, I have to admit, I just learned how to say your last name 5 minutes ago, and now I'm already having like this great time with you.
You know what? Mary is fine. It's still the same.
Here we go. Here we start. What is your story, Mary?
Well, you know what? And just to piggyback on what you were just saying, those people out there that are at a 1, let me tell you something. You know what? You're being breathed. If you can think of nothing good at any time, think about the fact that you don't have to do a friggin' thing and you are being breathed. Just something as simple as that can bring you back to the miraculousness of life. You are always being breathed.
We can stop the show right now if we want. You just took me out of my damn character, dude. You took me out of my character, Mary. Unbelievable. I love it. I love it. So I want to get to how you got to this sort of this wisdom and this calm that you have. And I want to hear your story. I want to hear your story about how you got here as a life coach and how you got here as a speaker. And it's not just one kind of methodology that you have. You have multi methodologies and multi approaches, multi trainings that you're bringing in. Yeah. That gives you the ability to just jump in and be like, yo, you're being breathed. Yeah. You know? So like, where did this all start? Or where did this start even?
Well, first of all, at the very core of myself, mm-hmm. My body is what houses my soul and my spirit, and that's what allows me to be here. And that's where I've ultimately gotten to come from. I'm the youngest of 6 kids. My parents grew up in tiny towns in Illinois as farmers. There was no way my dad was staying on the farm. So we went from Chicago, transferred to New York office when I was 11. So imagine a hayseed coming to Stepford, Connecticut at 11 years old. I would walk down the road and say hello to everybody because that's what you do in the Midwest, you know, and people would cross the street like I was some kind of foreign weirdo.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a really tough transition. And that led me down a path of a lot of bad things. You know, like I said, I was the youngest of 6. So I was always around alcohol and smoking and drugs and, God loved my parents, but by the time I came, they retired. Imagine 6 kids in 10 years. I couldn't do it. I have 2 and I couldn't do it,
That's heavy duty.
Yeah. So I kind of always felt like I never really fit in. And, fortunately, I was blessed to have some opportunities to get my shit together. I was sent to boarding school my last 2 years of high school because I just was not cutting it in Stepford. And that probably saved my life. And then I did what we're all told we do, right? You grow up, you get married, you have kids, till death do you part, and all this. I married the guy I was dating since I was 17. We waited about 10 years before we had kids. Then we had kids. It looked like we had the perfect life, the nice house, the 2.5 kids and the dog and the car, and we ran a couple businesses. But the bottom line was I was fucking miserable inside. I love my kids. I'm so grateful that they're here. But I just, I probably outgrew my husband shortly after we got married, and I just tried to suck it up. I just figured it must be something wrong with me, that I can't make this work, that I'm not happy, right? I have the picture, I have everything you're supposed to want, but I was just miserable. So as the universe provides for you, you ignore it, you ignore it, you ignore it, and then I got sick. So in my early 30s, I had what they finally diagnosed as Lyme. There were days when I couldn't even get out of bed. It would come and go, the different symptoms. At that point, I had a bookkeeping service. I was in my left brain world. And then I got introduced to yoga and alternative therapies. And that started me on the path of really coming back to who I was. And it was incredible. We didn't have kids before that. That was right before we had kids. But then I became that wild woman. I became a yoga teacher. I became an energy worker. I'm a Reiki master. I talk to dead people. I teach people how to talk to dead people and their angels and communicate with them. And I realized that, we are so much more than this body going on this hamster wheel.
Yep.
And it took me a long, long time. I contorted myself and did all kinds of different things to make my marriage work and to make everything okay. And finally, a couple of years ago, I left because I had to. I had done all I could for as long as I could, and I just couldn't do it anymore. It literally was going to kill me. The last 6 years of my marriage, I had a major health crisis every 2 years. Hello.
Yep.
My ex-husband's a great guy. I wish him well. The most loving thing I could do for him was to let him go, because we were never going to make each other happy. So that's what I did. And it'll be 2 years in May that we'll officially be divorced. It's the best decision I ever made in my life. I always tell people when I'm speaking, okay, partners out there, if your partner works with me, you're not going to find yourself in divorce court. That's not what I'm advocating. So calm the fuck down. But I'm going to help you look at the areas of your life that aren't really working and maybe you're in denial about, and make it be as great as it can be.
So I thank you for sharing that. I'm so curious because I feel like your story is very personal, and there's aspects of it that are also very universal, right? How many people do you feel are out there who ostensibly feel or are presenting themselves as the perfect person with the perfect life, and everything inside or everything that they've been feeling their whole life has been, fuck, like I am just so not out of sync, and I'm trying to make everything work. It's what's wrong with me? Why am I not happy? Like I'm getting everything that I want. Shouldn't I, shouldn't I be more grateful for these privileges? Like, I don't know what was going through your mind as, everyone's like, Mary, you and your family have the perfect life. Like, what was going through your head?
It's funny because I get a mixed bag of what I share on social media because
Okay.
I'm literally an open book. I put out there, with the exception of a couple things about my kids that's not mine to share.
Mm-hmm.
I put things out there when I had a hysterectomy. I talk about my lack of sex life in my marriage and how horrible it is to lay in bed next to someone and cry yourself to sleep when they are snoring next to you. It's so important to take away that facade and really be truthful, because it allows other people to say, oh my God, I'm not alone. She gets me. Oh my God, I thought it was just me. And, there's so much, especially with social media, there's so much pretty out there. There's so much, oh, my life is so fabulous, yada, yada. Is it really? I declared 2017 the year of no more assholes in my life. And it's so important because I don't want to talk fluff with you. I don't want to talk about the country club and what your new car and all that. I want to know what the hell keeps you up at night. What are you telling yourself? I mean, if you would eavesdrop on your own thoughts and brain and listen to how we talk to ourselves, you would never say that to another human being, how you talk to yourself, ever. That mean girl or that mean boy in your head that's always cutting you down and always saying, you would never talk to another human being like that, again, unless you're a psychopath.
Mary, why is it that we talk to ourselves like that then?
You know what? I think we get conditioned as young kids, how we have to contort ourselves to get love. And I don't care how good your family is, how loving your family is. My parents are great people, but there were things that weren't fulfilled in me as a child. But here now I'm going to really go out there. But here's what I think, right? I think we choose our parents. I think we live multiple lifetimes. And I think we come into these lifetimes to both teach and learn and heal karma. So like my kids chose to come to me and my husband. But here's what's really wild and really different too, is that my kids aren't mine. I was just the way they got here. I have no idea what their life path is. Just like with my clients, I have no fucking clue what you're supposed to do with your life. Only you know that. But I can help you figure that out.
Okay. Help me in any 2017
what is she talking about?
Help me in any 2017 2017 assholes out there understand what Debbie, Steph, Mary, that you guys already know. Like, what do you mean that we choose our parents? Like, isn't that something that is created with the sperm and the egg and all the mixing and like what do you mean we choose?
Right, but listen, right? If you can think about the idea that our bodies are a container of our souls, right? The egg and the sperm is only the body. Your soul doesn't come into that body until shortly before birth. So when that soul comes in knowing that your mother and your father are the perfect people, no matter how fucked up they may be, they're the perfect people to help you evolve as a soul.
So the soul knows exactly, well, you can tell me this because you talk to dead people. So the soul knows exactly where it wants to evolve next, and it picks basically.
Yeah.
Like, so are there like gazillions of souls just kind of chilling and waiting for the perfect match to come together?
Yeah, some people believe that. Some people believe
Okay.
we live multiple lifetimes at once.
Oh, so like parallels.
I think we have what's called a soul family. We have people that we kind of travel with in a pack,
Okay.
and like think about it. Remember a time when you met somebody and it's like automatically you knew them?
Yep.
Soul to soul. You do know them. You know them from
Mm-hmm.
before.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
you're meeting again for whatever reason you're meant to meet.
you break the woo woman is completely trumping the positive psychologist right now, because like I completely believe in that, and it's not only this kind of familiarity, but it's just like we have had to have walked the same road. We had, or like I was just having a conversation with someone yesterday where I was like, what do you think we were doing in a past lifetime? The positive psychologist, the guy who uses empirical data, was asking, like, what do you think we were? Do you think we were like in business together? Do you think we were this? Like, because we know each other so well. Like, I can just, there's people I can just give looks to, and it's like we're speaking.
Yeah.
We're speaking other complete sentences to each other.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that idea that we travel in packs like makes complete and utter sense.
And here's how I'll take it to you in the physiology aspect of it, right? So if our souls come into our bodies, right, the body dies and the soul is eternal. That's who we really are, that soul, that what I like to call love, pure love.
Mm-hmm.
But we carry from lifetime to lifetime cellular memory. So think about a time when you've had an injury or you've had a body ache that makes no sense for you to have in this lifetime. You've done nothing to have that physical manifestation, right? In my experience, that's a past life lesson coming through to be healed.
Okay, so tell me about, like, I gotta hear an example of this.
Okay, so like I really freaked out a body worker one time because he was working on me, and I have had this pain in my shoulder, and there was no reason to have it. I didn't injure it. There was nothing going on, but there was this pain that would not go away. So as he's working on me, trying to work it out, and you're going to think I'm crazy. It's okay. I'm used to it. I just get this flash of a past life where I had a hook, like a hook through my shoulder. And I said to him, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I need you to remove the hook from my shoulder. And he's like, okay. So with my imagining and him working physically and remove the hook from the shoulder, after that, the pain was gone.
Mm.
You can't make this shit up.
No. And by the way, no, I don't think that you're crazy. I would have said it already. And you can't make that stuff up, and there's so many other belief systems out there in which folks are like, the manifestation of mental health, right? We don't have such things in certain cultures as mental health. They just manifest in like physiological feelings in the body,
right.
So like these aches and these pains that are showing up are in the Western culture mental health issues, but in other cultures it's like, yeah, it's things that are still showing up. So let me ask you this: if souls are, why would a soul choose a sucky life and not choose to live a joyful one?
Well,
from the get.
If in my belief, where we come from, think about it like the old ocean analogy, right?
Okay.
You take a cup of water and you dip it in the ocean, right? The ocean is a universe or the mass consciousness. If you take a cup of water and dip it from the ocean, is it still the ocean?
Oh, dude. I guess it depends on how you define ocean. I mean, you gotta. Shit. I don't know.
Imagine the cup is your body.
Okay.
So you come out of the ocean, you go into the cup.
Mm-hmm.
right? And when you're done, when that cup starts to crack and that, you go back to the ocean. Well, the ocean is awesome.
It is, yeah.
Right? The ocean is awesome, but what fun is that? So you go into the cup to learn things and to grow and to expand and to meet up with people and sometimes to have fun and sometimes to be a great teacher.
I love it. I love it. So I completely feel our intersection right here, Mary, because when we were talking at the very beginning and I was like, joy is not about the 24/7 Taco Tuesdays. That's why our souls are choosing this, is because our souls already know it.
Right.
And so maybe there's some parts of our, lizard brain, there's parts of our, reptilian brain or some not evolved parts of ourselves that in the cup that are already cracked.
Right.
But that's the choice the soul makes to come and have some fun and learn some shit.
Right. So think about a newborn baby, right?
Yeah.
You see a newborn baby, you see God in those eyes. God, spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, it's all good, right? You look in that newborn baby and they are so fresh from that ocean. It's like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Right? And then slowly, as they start to conform to being on the earth, they start to lose that. If they have parents that understand that and are conscious, they don't have to lose it so much. But most of us lose that connection as we grow up. It's part of our human experience. And then we go through life and something happens, and then hopefully we reconnect to that and we come back to who we really truly are. Because we forget. That's part of the game, right?
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like society today has become a society in which we have lost more of our sense of collective consciousness than, like, for example, we look at civilizations and we'll think of them as primitive, like the Mayans or Egyptians, those sort of things, or we'll hear stories.
Going on? Are you kidding? We're the ones
Talk to me.
Up.
How has that happened? How has it happened that even, like, we'll think of ourselves as the most, we'll say we are the most evolved and knowing in our time, and then we're looking at folks who are writing on caves or writing on stones, and it's like, why did they have more shit figured out than us?
Yeah.
Maybe it was aliens coming in, blah, 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 blah. Like, how has it become so much that we've, in going with your theory, that we've forgotten about, like we as just an entire, like,
look at I stumbling.
Yeah, you have me stumbling because my brain is stumbling right now over these thoughts.
Yeah. That's a yes and no answer.
Okay.
I think all the inventions and everything of man that have come have been a good thing, but we've lost the spiritual aspect of it when we get into the ego. That's why my big philosophy is that we have it so screwed up when we say mind, body, spirit. It should really be spirit, body, mind. Because the spirit has to come first. Okay,
so the spirit is the meta.
Yeah. So when we just go from our brains, and really most of us are disconnected from the neck down. We totally live up here all the time. And when you talked about in the beginning, about your feelings, you have to feel your feelings. We are so, as a society, we are so afraid to feel. Right? And we'll do everything to try to avoid feeling. And what we don't realize is that feelings are just energy in motion, right? What are emotions? Energy in motion. And when we let those feelings flow through and we actually stop and feel them, because they serve a purpose, right? They're messengers, they're telling us something. When we let those feelings just flow through us, then we're good. 90 seconds. Feel something for 90 seconds and you can move on. Drink a 6-pack of beer, go shopping, binge watch something. That feeling didn't go away. You just shoved it down that later you're going to have to excavate back out. And it's so much harder to do it then. Believe me, I was a queen of shutting down emotions and not feeling me now.
Yeah, and I mean, if you were talking about, you know, when someone is snoring next to you, crying yourself to sleep, I mean, it sounds like there was some suppression during the day that was coming out when you're falling asleep.
And here's what happens when you suppress things: when you don't when you don't let the energy move through you and you shove it down, dis-ease sets in. And that's the last thing we want. That's why in the last 6 years of my marriage, when I had a health crisis every 2 years, I knew what the hell was going on, but I was too afraid to deal with it.
I take it that the severity of the symptoms were going up and up every single year too. Like your body was was screaming at you.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I had a horrible GI infection for no reason that they couldn't figure out. Then I had an appendectomy, which a lot of people say, well, that just happens. But if you read about the body and the appendix, it totally fit with what was going on in my life, the energy of it. And then I had been battling ovarian cysts on and off for years and finally had a hysterectomy. And I have a daughter who has anxiety. I won't go too much into that, but one of her big fears was that something would happen to me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to create this reality for her if I don't get out of this situation.
Yeah. Was that the moment that that you were like, something's got to change now?
The moment that I knew, the clicking moment for me was I was having a reunion of some coaches that I did a program with up at our house at Cape Cod. And I had had neck issues for years and years and years. And neck issues, for those of you who don't know, the throat, it's about speaking your truth or shoving down your truth is going to create issues with your neck. It's all about that communication and speaking your truth, which obviously I've had a lot of issues with in the past. So as we're driving, I had people come to my house. We left from there. We drove. It's like a 3.5 hour drive for the weekend with these amazing women. And I realized when I was up there, for the first time in decades, my neck didn't hurt. I had full range of motion the whole weekend. When I started driving back home at the end of the weekend, the closer I got to home, the more my neck hurt.
Barry Vernal, are you fucking with me now?
I said, I can't do it anymore. It could not have been clearer.
Have you been having, I just want to, like, how is your neck doing now? Okay. She's a total headbanger now. There's so much freedom. I have so much to say, and you know what, dude? We are completely breaking we're completely breaking your script. So you can tell me right now at the 33-minute mark if you want me to go back to the script or if you want me to just flow with you right now.
You know, this is like, how do we work best?
Let's play. So at what point did you think that, like, or not think, at what point could you see, like, or understand angels, dead people, the things that, you know, you're putting humor in this, but it's like, I'm looking past your humor, fool. Like, you're playing the fool in the king's court right now. There's things that you know that, like, I want you to share with us. Like, at what point was it after the neck injury? Like, what, or the neck came back? Like,
I really started opening up to it. I'm a recovering Catholic. My parents were very devout Catholics. I think I had a lot of experiences as kids that was shut down. Always question your kids' imaginary friends. Are they really? And when I got sick and got into yoga, that started really awakening my spirituality, and I started studying more. Like I said, I became a Reiki master, which you can't really do Reiki without having divine guidance all around you. I studied with Trudy Griswold, who her and her sister Barbara Marks wrote Angel Speak. And I use their 4-step process. I'm one of her facilitators to teach people how to write to their angels. I definitely would feel things. And we all have these gifts. Everybody can do this. Every single one of us. I'll just give you there's a couple main ways that people have their spiritual gifts. Clairvoyance is one we hear about a lot, where people see things. We have clairaudient, where people hear things, and then clairsentient, it's called, where you just have a knowing. That's really my strongest gift, is I just have a knowing, although the others are developing even more today. I'll give you some examples. When we bought our first house in town, the owner had died in it. And so occasionally I would be standing at the kitchen sink and feel like somebody was watching me. Not in a scary, creepy way, but I just felt like somebody was there. And of course I'd turn around and there wouldn't be anybody. Our dog would stand in the hallway staring down, looking at the end of the hall where there was nobody there. I would go to mediums and, channelers. And for me, I get a body sensation I call angel bumps. So when I feel presence or someone's around me, I get head to toe goosebumps, angel bumps through my whole body. And that's how I know. That's my kind of truth. And then it started. My first yoga teacher, Roberta, became a dear, dear friend of mine, and she was dying of cancer. And so my daughter was 4 months old at the time. My son was 4. And a bunch of us had gone to the hospital the day before she died and did a prayer circle around her and did some energy work for her and this and that. And later that night, I was in the rocking chair nursing my daughter. It was like, I don't know, 10:30 at night. And I'm rocking. And I look in the hallway and I see her do a round off back handspring and go.
What?
And I knew, right? I knew right then and there that she had passed. And she came to me to let me know that she was finally out of that body and she was free.
Wow. So did this not, especially as a Catholic, because there's some parts of Catholic, I mean, you're talking to a Filipino right now. So like, I come from some pretty hardcore structures, right? Were you not afraid of some of the things that you were experiencing, or were you not?
First of all, you're talking to the girl who used to be drinking blackberry brandy when she skipped CCD. So let's just.
That is fucking great. Blackberry brandy. Vernal. I love it. I love it.
I've just always had this sense that I had this protection around me, that part of my contract was that it was about love and good. I'll tell you a funny side note, right? It's all about love. It took me 39 years to figure out why the hell I was born on Valentine's Day.
You big dork, Vernal. You big old dork. Yeah, I'm feeling you. Slazer's laughing too over here, dude. Slazer, I see you, by the way. We see all the comments that you're making. It's good that you're connected with the Slazer. But so there was this never was this feeling of sort of these negative things, or like when you're feeling like there's a presence in the room with me, you always knew that it was love.
I always knew that it was love. I mean, I've definitely been around, I don't want to say dark spirits, because even like in the human form, I think that people who hurt other people are hurt inside.
Mm-hmm.
They're not necessarily evil. They just are hurt inside and need to be healed.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in the spirit world. It's just that soul hasn't evolved enough, or it has too much shit to work through yet. that they're coming from a place that's not pure love.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
I definitely, I mean, I protect myself from everybody's energy, and it's important because especially as an empath, and I'm sure a lot of people out there feel it, you go somewhere and you come back and you just feel like you've been slimed and like you just feel icky. It's because you have. People just throw their crap on you energetically, not just verbally and everything else. And so it's important to be able to keep your energy clean.
I also assume that people souls can be very parasitic as well, where they'll latch and draw energy out of you. If you're talking about emotions as energy in motion, I could definitely see people being like, all right, I'm gonna latch onto this one with heavy duty energy and draw that into me. And
that's what we do cord cuttings for. There's an energetic technique called cord cutting. And it's true, everyone you come in contact, there's an energetic cord between the two of you. And some of them are just wispy, it's just somebody, and as you walk away, it just disconnected. Some of them are big, massive tree trunks, especially with family members and that, and they do literally suck the life out of you. And so there's an energetic technique that you can use to cut that cord and make them take back their own energy and their own power, and you close up that connection.
So are you also saying that dead people would also have an energetic connection with us still, even after they've passed in the physical?
So who have you lost that you feel with you still? Can you think of a time when you, and maybe you don't look at it as feel with you, or maybe so you think of somebody and you get.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm thinking about Mama Mary right now. Like I've been thinking about her a lot this week, and maybe she's been showing up because she's been like, hey, you're going to talk to Vernal this week. And I want you to know that when you're talking to her, I want you to think about me, because like she's going to be speaking to you directly, Cordell, like when you're hosting the show. And that's why you're going to break character, and you're just going to not be that pro wrestler with her today. And so I do think about things, and I don't necessarily see her showing up in animals, but when there's always this like butterfly that keeps showing up. And whenever that butterfly shows up, I'm like, why are you showing up right at this time?
Because it's a message. It's a little angel.
Yeah. Nice. So I'm not crazy either.
Well,
I'm as crazy as fucking you are.
Okay.
I'm as crazy as fucking you are.
Welcome to the light side, baby.
Yeah, and I do have to say that there's been multiple experiences in my life, but probably the most salient one that I can never explain was when I was in my PhD program, and I was like, I was disavowing from Catholicism altogether, and I was like, fuck this, fuck that, blah, 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 blah. Like, it was my birthday, I was writing papers by myself, everybody was out, and I didn't understand my purpose. And I just remember being like, God, if there is anything out there right now, like if there is any kind of presence, I need you. Like, it was almost like I was screaming. I was like, I need you to show me a sign. It's popping up again. And when you're talking about these angel goosebumps, all I could explain was that it felt like lightning bolts. Like it felt like I got hit by a lightning bolt. It went from my feet through my head, and everything shut up. I was like, never again have I felt it. But it was as if someone had given me a hug of electricity.
Exactly what you asked for. Sign.
Yep, and that's all I needed. That's all I needed. It wasn't long after that I was like, all right, like it wasn't the fact that I had felt lonely. It was just, this PhD program is not where I want. I'm doing things for other people that are not true to whatever it is screaming inside of me to go out, become a coach, look at positive psychology, maybe build bridges between positive psychology and some woo, because they're not as far off. No. Oh my gosh, Cordone is like really letting some things out of the bag right now. Yeah, but like, so to be sort of a person in the mainstream going with undercurrents of woo,
Okay, so let me just cut you off here for a second to go back to what you were saying about, the Aztecs and the Egyptians and all that, and are we so worse off before? You just set the example of where we're not. Because there's more people opening up and evolving to the love and the heart center and the spirituality more now than ever before. The pendulum swung so far in the male ego machinist that now it needs to swing back, and we're in the process of that swing back.
So do you see this as a natural process of our evolution? The sort of the, I mean, I've definitely heard stories of, there's sort of a Mars aspect of us that has been impressed. I see the eyebrows. We can talk. I can hold with you. Those people in the first 20 minutes are gone, so we can have a real discussion now, right? So I don't have to pretend anymore. But like in that, like, like some of that, the aspects of the Martians or the Martians are getting pushed out, the Sumerians are coming back. But also at the same time, like I've heard some things about where we are in the solar system, and we're not getting like the solar blockage or energetic blockage that we were getting.
Flares affecting
yeah. What is your thought on what's going on right now?
It's all energy, right? And who the hell are we to think that we're the only people in the universe? Seriously? That we're the only beings.
Yeah.
And
so let me.
Can I prove any of this? No. But you can't prove it's not true either.
Yeah, baby. Says Debbie.
And I'm going to get political for a minute from a spiritual perspective, and I'm sure we're probably going to lose half the world right now. Here's what I'm going to tell you. My spiritual feelings about Donald Trump. Okay? He's here for a higher purpose. You can't heal what you don't acknowledge. And he has made it so clear that we have so much shit to heal. That's part of his purpose. No matter what you think of him as a person, before Donald Trump, did anybody understand how fucked up we really are? That's his gift. Because now we can change it.
There's an awareness piece that he's bringing in that we all can take accountability and action for, is what I'm hearing, right? Yeah, so you lesser evolved people can just hang up the phone right now. No, I'm just kidding, y'all. No, it's not about lesser and more evolved.
Perfect, just where they are.
It gives us something to sit in, and I think the cool thing of what you just said is if anyone is having any kind of heebie-jeebies in any way, positive or negative, that we're throwing positive or negative values on, we can just kind of sit back and say, why is it that I'm reacting in that way right now? What is it about me? And then whether or not you agree or disagree with what Mary said, I hope that provocation has gotten us all to think a little bit about getting political from the spiritual perspective. I said from the political, or getting spiritual from the political perspective. I absolutely love that you bring that up, because we are in a zeitgeist right now in which all we are maybe focusing on is the sucky, how much different I am than you. What are your thoughts on this? I will completely disavow you if you think this way about me. And like, I think that there is this nice little growing pain that everybody has right now, because it's like, ooh, how much am I wrapped up in my own ego right now?
We get away from the us and them.
Yeah.
Right? And come together. I mean, look at it in the coaching world, in the business world. We're so much less about being competitive and moving towards being collaborative. Look at us. You and I are sitting here talking together. We're both coaches, right? But we're working together.
Oh, we totally are working together.
That's, we're not sitting there saying, well, I'm not going to tell you what I do, because then you're going to go do it and there's not going to be enough people for me to make a look. There's more than enough for everybody. And that's what we're evolving from, that scarcity, scarcity, scarcity. It's me versus you, to no, we all can find common ground. There's enough for everybody. And when we work together, we're unstoppable.
So are my grandchildren going to end up being like 20 feet tall Sumerians again, because their brain needs to like adapt to the sort of the everything that's going on, and because the solar flares are getting smaller, we're going to be able to take the UV rays a little bit better? Like, are we going back to full on like old school Sumerians, or what people say that Sumerians were like, or what Egyptians? You know, you'll go look at hieroglyphics and there's people who are one or regular size, 5'6", and then you see cities of people who are 20 feet tall. Are we moving towards even being that kind of civilization again? Because you're saying pendulum swinging back.
I don't think we need to have those type of bodies anymore. I think we're actually moving towards more back to our light bodies. Because
talk to me about that.
From the density into the lightness.
So you're talking about an even newer evolved type of.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And you may be feeling it in your body. If people have been, really tired, they've had some aches and pains, they've been crabby and different things. It's all part of our bodies are literally evolving. Look at kids these days. They come in, they know how to operate an iPhone by the time they're 2. You get an old fart like me at 54 who has to ask my teenager, how do I do this? That's evolution right before your eyes.
That is total evolution. So what is this idea that we're seeing more light workers on this earth? We're seeing more. I definitely know about
a really long time.
Or yes, and so is it something that we're just developing even more awareness of? Because about 20 years ago, before the term light workers was coming in, it was indigo babies, right? A lot of indigos were coming into this world. Is it that they've always been here, or is it something like this pendulum swinging, and now we're seeing this sort of rise of this group of people who are light workers?
And again, like anything else, you always have to filter through your own system what resonates with you and what doesn't. And you can find 1,000 different explanations of all this. In my studying and my understanding, they've always been, we've always been there. We're spiritual beings. Mm-hmm. I've been taught and learned that there were some few indigo, like my age and a little older, that were kind of sent in to test things out, to make sure it was safe for them to come.
You mean Jesus?
What's that?
You mean Jesus?
Oh, that was long ago. That was a whole different.
Oh, so lately they've been sent in.
Yeah, like okay. I'm 54, so like 60, 65 years ago, the first indigos. And here's the crazy thing. It's all labeling for us humans to try to make sense of. It's all bullshit, really. It's just we want to know. So this is what we're given so our brains can make sense of it. So they had the indigos, and then the crystalline is more of the newer kids. And again, if you look at babies, you see them, their eyes are just like, they're a little bigger and they're just so brilliant because the DNA in their physical cells can carry more light when they come in because it's safer for them to be here. Because the pendulum is swinging back.
What do you mean by safer?
Well, as someone who's been murdered many lifetimes for their beliefs and their spiritual teachings, different gets prosecuted and horrible things done to them.
Dude, I need to have you back on the show. Straight up. It's 5 until. We've been on for like a full hour of freaking flow. The thing is Debbie has stayed with us as well. Debbie, this is amazing. This may have been one of the most uncoded shows ever because I'll be a straight shooter. I love coding my shows with like nice messages, and I like completely flip the script and like let out a lot of things that I like reading about on my own and things that I've pursued on my own. I'm still not going to tell y'all what I've done to become a positive psychologist, but I do feel like this has been a very purposeful meeting between two of us on this week, and I don't think that the butterflies have been showing up, and the stories that I'm being willing to tell wouldn't have happened if I wasn't in this moment with you. And so I'm very appreciative of that, Mary. Mary, I want to go back to not back to reality, but back to maybe some of the bounce back of things that we talked about an hour ago that I promised I would talk about. MaryVernal.com. What are we going to get when we go to your site?
You can go, there's a freebie, there's a video there that will teach you how to use your body as a pendulum, which is a way to help you, a simple yes and no, understand what your body's yes is and what your body no is. It's a lot easier than carrying around a pendulum and checking things out. You don't look quite as weird.
Nice.
You can use it when you're in the grocery store and you're not sure what your body is best for your body. You can test it that way. Anybody that wants to know more, there's I do a free 15-minute Are We a Fit call. If you want to see if there's some way I can help you. I'm actually putting together next Friday, the 16th at 11, about how to survive the holidays. Because you don't have to do what you always do and be miserable through them. Believe me, you really don't.
Now that's just straight. Of all the things that I heard you say in this hour, that's the craziest shit that I've heard. That's the craziest shit that I've heard. You've been murdered multiple times.
Holiday season.
That's just crazy shit. That's crazy talk. I'm cutting you off right now. You can talk about being murdered, having hooks in you. You can talk about light workers being fucked up, whatever. But you can't talk about the holidays being normal, son. That's crazy talk. That's too far. But we can sign up for that on your site as well.
Yes, there will be. The link's not up there yet. It'll be more on social media, but I'll have that on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, it's a freebie. Come and just play and get some great tips. Learn about dysfunctional family bingo.
So is that something that I'm going to be proud to like stand up and yell bingo for?
Yes.
Nice. Nice.
It's all the sting out of all those annoying habits that you get pissed off about every family gathering. You make
Slazer and I are going to play. I would encourage y'all to go there. MaryVernal.com. Mary, I wanted to thank you. I wanted to thank you for coming on the show when you came on the show. I love when paths like these cross, and I've been looking forward to having you on the show. I'm looking forward to having you back again.
Anytime, my friend.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yes.
I was so grateful to have the opportunity and to get to chat with you again. And
absolutely.
And blow your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. You never stop doing that. So let me let's go here for a second, right? Like I have to end on the coaching thing and why this is called. I agree. This has been completely epic, Debbie. And Debbie, come back with us. Debbie, I'm getting a hit from you that you need to come on this show, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yep, I'm getting a nice hit from this show, Debbie, that we're going to continue the conversation with you.
Yeah.
And so I want you to imagine that
coaching thing. I'm going to teach you how to get into your body, how to figure out how your body talks to you, investigate what parts of your life aren't working, and teach you how to understand that and know that, and then give you some tools to figure out how to make it better, whether it's having tough conversations or setting boundaries or sometimes removing people or things from your life.
And I think one of the things that I picked up on your website is that whether or not you are being first introduced with woo or you're deep into the woo, W-O-O, woo, whether you're deep into it, there's a science to it. There's a science to it. And whether we believe it or not, sometimes science, just when you practice it, it works, right? And so you don't have to be a full-on faither.
Yeah.
Like you just have to do some things. And so that's what I liked about seeing your site before this, and really what had activated me to have this conversation with you. You broke my pro wrestler, homie. So this is what's going to happen now. We're now that I've got the street drillers here, they're telling us to stop. So I'm gonna hit my mic and hit mute in a second. But I want you to imagine, Mary, that right now a golden mic is coming from your ceiling, right? You've said a lot of stuff on this show, but now this golden mic translates into every language all across this multiverse. Everyone is listening, living, dead, sentient beings just kind of chilling right now that are laughing at us right now, being like, they so are putting words to shit that we don't need to be putting words to, those idiot humans, right? So like everyone is listening for 2 minutes or less. Mary Vernal, when I hit the golden mic, everyone is listening. Mary Vernal, your golden mic is live now.
You know what, people? Life can be so good. Shit is going to happen. We all have ups and downs. But you know what? With some great tools, you can learn to handle those things. You can know that there's more than just the day-to-day shit that goes on in your life. And I can help you figure out exactly what's missing in your life, what needs to be tweaked, what needs to be added, and to help you begin to see the miracles all around you, because they are all around us. We just need to be open to them. And you don't have to live a sucky life. You don't have to live a life of I have to, but I have to, but I have to. You don't have to. You have choices. And by me being totally authentic and transparent, I want to give you the permission to do the same. Because when you're not truthfully who you are, your relationships are a lie. Because the other person that you're in relationship hasn't even seen who you are. And most of us are so afraid to show who we really are because we feel we won't be loved. I promise you that's not the case. If that turns out to be the case with whoever the people are in your life, they're not your peeps. And you need to find the peeps that are going to see you and love you for who you are, because you are a magnificent, magnificent being with so many gifts to give this world. And we all need each and every one of you to work on your shit, get clean about who you are, and show up every stinking day.
Mary Vernal, I want you to take that golden mic right now while it's still hot. I want you to drop that golden mic, Mary Vernal, because I'm going to go back to professional wrestling mode. The fool is back. The fool is back, sucker. You couldn't keep me back down for long. The fool is going to be back, but I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to shut off the golden mic because I myself am going to pursue some of those relationships. I myself am going to get my shit right. And I myself am going to work on some things. And it's not going to happen with me always being on social media. I would encourage all of you this weekend while we're gone. We'll be back on Tuesday, but while we're gone, continue to take time. Mary, I wanted to thank you again. We're shutting off the golden mic. We'll be back. But here's the question that I have for everybody watching, Debbie, especially you. And it's this. If you're feeling happy and you're living life to your fullest purpose, or you're pushing on that, what is your responsibility to changing history for the better? I am Mark Cordone. This is Mary Vernal. It's been episode 95, a really good one. Watch it again because they might be taking this off. There was too many truth bombs on this one. Take care.
Love you, babe. Yeah.
Mary, stay with me.